about 40 next grade.
I've just been told that it's a 11 so it is time for us to start. If you please grab a seat.
I know it's wonderful.
It's wonderful to have you all here this morning. Great to see your smiling faces. Even if you're not smiling, it's great to see your face. We're going to start with our opening song being played by one and only Bill Shelton. And it is page number 33. This little light of mine. Stand if you're willing and able.
I always think this is a good opening song. It's such an error.
Number 33.
I give it. I got a little trademark introduction to this.
Belt out a big rendition of this little light of It's one of my favorite songs, and Bill always thinks of me when I'm facilitating and he's playing, so thank you so much, Bill. Sure. Well, welcome this morning to the first existentialist congregation of Atlanta. We are a philosophically based spiritual community founded on existentialist and feminist principles dedicated to human liberation and to the protection of the natural world. We are aware that we are privileged to be in this beautiful old church stone church sanctuary that was built over 100 years ago by the African American Antioch East Baptist Church, hand-built by stones that they carried by cart from Stone Mountain. So we are the stewards now of this wonderful and beautiful building. We also are aware that the Muskogee Creek people, among others, were forcibly sent away from this area, and we look for justice for all indigenous people. If anyone has a community announcement, if you would please write it down and bring it up to me, I will read those a little bit later on in the service. First quote this morning is from Robert Fulghum. I believe that imagination is stronger than knowledge, that myth is more potent than history, that dreams are more powerful than facts, that hope always triumphs over experience, that laughter is the only cure for grief, and I believe that love is stronger than death. That's Robert Fulghum. I believe he's the guy that wrote everything you wanted to know that you learned in kindergarten. I think that's the same guy. Smart man. Do we have any newcomers that would like to stand and let us know your name and how you came to be here this morning? Anybody that would like to do this? Okay.
I don't usually give them to peer pressure. Good morning. My name is Azena, and I am a friend of Anthony's, and that's how I heard about your wonderful congregation. He has often told me of the times that he has come and spoken here, and I did come for the celebration of the designation. So I did have a chance to stop in for a part of that, and the history is certainly very fascinating and encouraging. And granted, I've known Anthony for many years. I actually have not formally sat down and heard him speak, give one of his wonderful talks. So I am happy to be here to witness and support and encourage.
Good to have you here this morning. Yes.
Yeah, I'm Michelle, and it's not my first time here, but it's been many years since I've been here in First Extensionist Church. I've been in the Sunday Assembly a few times, and they meet in this building in the evening once a month. But my friend from the Sunday Assembly, I'll call her out, this is Anna. She has introduced me, sent me a list of the next few talks, and I saw one of the next talks about humor and by Anthony Knight. And so I had to come because I need humor in my life now. So I brought Marcia because she told me she needs a little humor too. And then I told Patty about it. So we need a little humor, and that's why I'm here.
I'm Marcia, and I can't really add anything more to what Mr. already said. So I will just say my name, and I'm grateful that Michelle invited me today.
Great. I've already mentioned to this group that there's a connection card here, that if you would like to fill that out, and you will receive a weekly e-blast and a monthly newsletter. It's a way of keeping in touch, getting an idea of what's going on. So please feel free to fill that out.
Terry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, Terry, oh my gosh, Terry, I'm so sorry.
Well, it's my fault because I was
You just noticed visitors in my head, so.
Well, I didn't raise my hand, so sorry. But I come off and on. I'm Nancy's daughter and Patton's sister, and I'm in from Arizona. I got to see everybody on Zoom during COVID and became kind of a member of the church at that time. But I'm here for my mom's birthday. So.
I just don't consider you a visitor. Wonderful to have you, Terry. How about birthdays and anniversaries? You got any birthdays and anniversaries this morning? Oh, of course we have a birthday. We have a very special birthday.
We had a blast last night.
I present to you the one and the only 90-year-old Nancy White. And tell him how happy you are that you reached age 90, okay?
Here we go. Kia Beth. Fabulous.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nancy.
Congratulations, Nancy.
Thank you.
So any other birthdays or anniversaries? No? Okay. How about another congregational song? I think that sounds like a grand idea. How about page number 10? We can become. That's the word that the Bill
At the bottom of the page. This is actually Amazing Grace, and I chose it because it's another one of Marcia's very favorite songs. I'd like to point something out about the words. In verse 2, it says, we'll share our joys, our sorrows share. Well, we got a part of service called joys and sorrows. No, I think that's
So page number 10 down at the bottom.
Becoming
I think an existentialist wrote that. It is really good to see everyone this morning, and I hope that you're enjoying this amazingly beautiful August day in Atlanta. So let's be grateful for that. Fancy and I just got back from Michigan, where the high was like 75 during the daytime. So I was grateful when we came back, because I expected to walk off the airplane and get hit by a blast of, super hot air. But fortunately, it's supposed to be silent. I have this thing set for Sunday every week. Why is it doing that? If anybody else has your cell phone, please be sure to phone us that now. Ah, does it turn on? That's a good reason. Okay. Sorry about that. Right before we left, a week or so before we left, I had COVID. And which for me is a miserable experience, not because I was that sick, because I wasn't, but just because I had to isolate. And that's a miserable experience, having to isolate. And now, thankfully, she didn't get it from me, but apparently, Chancey on our trip picked up COVID, and she's now very sick. And I was talking with some other people last night, and we were comparing about our experiences having COVID. And we said that it was great because we had a partner that was there to be able to take care of us in terms of, making sure that we were okay, for one, and also to be able to bring us anything that we specifically needed. But think about all the people that don't have someone. That's an awful lot of people. And so I just am very aware of how important it is for us to keep in touch with our friends, in particular those that don't have partners or that don't live with someone else. Make sure that they're okay, and if there's anything that you can do to help them, please keep that in mind, because we just need to take care of each other. So, did anybody have a community announcement? Because nobody brought me one. Now, this is the first. Okay.
Well, I'll say something.
I knew you would.
Nita and I went to the unveiling of the John Lewis statue yesterday. It was great. I invite you to go to it. It is a beautiful statue, and I consider it a shrine to go feel good about what John Lewis meant to this country and the world. Yeah. Okay.
Now we're going to have, oh, sorry, Bill.
I have a joy and
It's not noise, it's on.
This is community announcements.
Oh, it's not noise, it's
Not
not.
oh,
I know, he was out of turn, but don't worry about it.
oh, that's me. Okay, I'll be back.
His was a double joy in community announcement. Now we're going to have about 3, 4, 5 minutes of silence. It's an opportunity for you to sit quietly with your brothers and sisters, to pray and meditate, however you go inside. So I will ring the chimes when we're through, and there are candles on either side of the sanctuary.
We're going to do verses 1 through 5. The last verse is ain't going to let no children turn me around.
Verses 1 through 5?
Yes. Otherwise it can go on a long time. You started to say, I was also at that event for John Robert Lewis in Decatur. It was quite well attended. The security was really good, and it was just terrific. And I think this song would fit in well with what he was all about.
I'm always happy to be the one who's facilitating on the day that Anthony Knight is our speaker, because I get to introduce him. Anthony is no stranger to First D. He has been a supporter and friend of First D for many years. His background is in museum education and curating, and he also is the founder of a nonprofit organization that is to support young black men from ages 11 to 17. He has a background in Spanish, so if you happen to want to have a conversation in Spanish, you can do that with Anthony. Recently, Anthony has been working with the city of Atlanta and with his assistants and the wonderful work that the Biracial History Project led by Edie Kelman. We were able to have our space and land designated as historical preservation, and we greatly appreciate the part that you had in that, Anthony. So I am interested, when I read your title, A Barrel of laughs at the nexus of race, politics, and society. I thought, now how am I going to come up with quotes for that as facilitator? So I just picked up on the laughs and did my quotes on laughter. But I'm very interested in hearing what you have to say about the nexus of race, politics, and society. So please welcome my friend, Anthony Knight.
Good morning, First D. How are you? Thank you, Marsha, for that really lovely introduction. And thank you, Bill, for the music you've been playing this morning. It's really always a pleasure for me to speak for you, with you. And Marsha, if you were confused about what this talk was going to be, imagine how I feel. Titles just pop into my brain, and I don't always know why, but I go with them, and then I try to figure out how to write to the title. I know a lot of people do it in the reverse. They figure out what they're going to say, and then they try to title it. I've never been that dude. So here we go. A barrel of laughs at the nexus of race, politics, and society. I'm going to start by sharing with you a quote from W.E.B. Du Bois, some folks say Du Bois, from 1968. This race has the greatest of the gifts of God, laughter. It dances and sings. It is humble. It longs to learn. It loves men. It loves women. It is frankly, baldly, deliciously human in an artificial and hypocritical land. The white world has its jibes and cruel caricatures. It has its loud guffaws. But to the black world alone belongs the delicious chuckle. In Ralph Ellison's 1985 essay, The Extravagance of Laughter, the master storyteller and author of the iconic Cold War classic, Invisible Man, examines the racial history of the United States, African American folklore, and personal anecdotes to explain the political origins, effects, and possibilities of black laughter. On the surface, one might wonder how politics has anything at all to do with laughter, particularly black laughter. As it turns out, there is a connection, and one that lies at the very heart of white supremacy, and sadly, it is part of the political climate today. African American folklore tells of laughing barrels, barrels into which enslaved blacks purportedly had to laugh on some plantations, and from which we get the idiom, barrel of laughs. For while the laughing barrel itself may be myth, the notion of a laughing barrel is grounded in white supremacist ideology. That is, to segregate in every way black bodies, black lives, black expression, and black humanity. Unless, of course, those bodies, lives, expressions, and that humanity are in the service of whiteness. A poem written by Sterling Brown in 1932 illustrates this perfectly. Down in Atlanta, the white folks got laws for to keep all the niggas from laughing outdoors. Hope to God I may die if I ain't speaking truth. make the niggas do their laughing in a telephone booth. In Brown's home, the telephone booth is the barrel, ensuring that whites would not have to be subjected to the so-called hideous, animal-like sound of black laughter. A couple of weeks ago, scholar, author, and MSNBC commentator Eddie Glaude spoke about the mythology of laughing barrels. I had never heard this before and was immediately intrigued. The context for Professor Glaude's comments was Vice President Kamala Harris's laughter. Not surprisingly, her laughter came up at a recent Trump rally. Now, since I don't follow Trump rallies, I Googled VP Harris laughter. A number of links came up, and I clicked the YouTube link. During his trademark rambling, incoherent, and abusive talk, Trump asked his audience, "Have you heard her laugh?" He goes on to say, "That is the laugh of a crazy person. It's the laugh of a lunatic." After listening to the clip, I scrolled down to look at the comment section. There were over 1,400 comments. Wow. A quick perusal of them turned up the following. Quote, "Her laugh is annoying and inappropriate," end quote. Quote, "I agree with him 100%. I mean, just listen to it. She does it often enough, and especially awkward moments," end quote. Quote, "Her voice is infectious, as in an infection that eats away at your mind." End quote. Quote, "It's like a hyena, laughing as it eats your cub." Cub in this case being America. End quote. And finally, quote, "Her laugh is inappropriate. Xi Jinping wouldn't appreciate it." End quote. Let's just think for a moment about these comments. Because they are all in response to a woman's laughter. The laughter of one of the most accomplished human beings on the planet, male or female. Comments about the laughter of the vice president of our country. Now, most of us are aware of the so-called 19th century science that tried to prove enslaved blacks, and by extension, black people in general, were something other than human. Bogus scientists measured skull and nose size, finger, arm, and leg length, eye distance, shape and size of forehead, brain size, genitalia, you name it. They measured and or examined it. In so doing, they proved that blacks were inferior to whites. Fortunately, today we know that's not true. At least most of us know it. But what that intense examination of black bodies did, though that exhaustive examination of blackness, it laid the groundwork for a society to build a framework within which anything dealing with black humanity had no value. Black labor, of course, had significant value. It literally built this country's wealth. However, the actual human beings and anything related to their humanity, that had no value. Not only did black humanity not have value, but also it was the source of ridicule and the means by which white society could relieve itself, so to speak, of all its ills, foibles, shortcomings, inadequacies, and mediocrity. In this society, whites were absolved of all human frailty because when measured against blacks, they were superior, even though secretly they knew they were not. At first I was shocked to hear that Kamala's laughter was a thing. I mean, for real? I couldn't believe it. I thought to myself, when does this stop? Her laughter never even registered with me. In fact, I was thrilled to see the vice president, one of this country's major power brokers, showing a side of herself that few are willing to show. And it seemed so genuine. Seeing her laugh literally lifts my spirit. Professor Glaude's remarks somewhat caught me off guard, but almost in that same instant, I thought of moments when I had policed my own laughter, especially in white settings. Secretly, I know that my deepest, heartiest laughter is reserved exclusively for times when I'm with friends or families and in black community. That 19th century pseudoscience is part of our national DNA. It's part of my DNA and perhaps even yours. For while I may have exercised some of those cultural demons, many yet remain. And I suspect some will be with me until I draw my last breath. And that's not an easy thing to have to admit. Dear friends, we are at a time in our country's history not unlike the one our ancestors experienced on the eve of the Civil War. Two strong yet opposing factions of our citizenry are vying for control of social, political, and governmental power. Until Vice President Harris's ascension to the top of the ticket, I was dreadfully concerned about which side might win. Now I'm cautiously, only moderately concerned. Mostly because Trump and those who follow him have proven themselves to be ruthless criminals.
Yeah.
That said, the galvanizing effect VP Harris's nomination has had across the country has renewed once again my belief in the so-called better angels of our nature, about which President Lincoln spoke in his first inaugural address. Individually and collectively, we are a work in progress, and I do not mean in that the namby-pamby way politicians and pundits often suggest. I believe that the human experience is much deeper and more vibrant than most of us can fully grasp during our lifetimes. I believe we agree to be part of specific historical eras and moments for very important reasons. And while the challenges we face in these bodies sometimes make us cringe with fear or roil in disgust, we are exactly where we're supposed to be. In Memphis, Tennessee, on the eve of his death, Dr. King reflected on his life and reaffirmed his commitment to his particular reality with its myriad challenges, beatings, jailings, death threats, and the rest. Saying to those sanitation workers assembled that evening that if he had it to do all over, he would, quote, turn to the Almighty and say, if you allow me to just live a few years in the second half of the 20th century, I will be happy, end quote. Less than 24 hours before his assassination, King was at peace with his reality and would not have changed one thing. This is who we are. We are beings called forth to participate in the infinite great dramas of human experience. And like King, I stand firmly in mine. The blood and sweat, failures and successes, and yes, laughter and tears of my ancestors helped to create this country and all it represents. And while there are those among us whose limited worldviews, tragic insecurities, and sheer disregard for humanity inform their misguided rhetoric and hateful behavior against blacks and others, the inescapable reality is that we are here. Regardless of our shapes, sizes, or colors, or how we adorn our bodies, or wear our hair, or how we speak or laugh, or how we express ourselves or not. We are here in our uniqueness, and that is true for every person and for every group of people on the planet. It must be right because we are here. As Whoopi Goldberg, as Celie says toward the end of the film, The Color Purple, I'm poor, I'm black, hell, I may even be ugly. But dear God, I'm here. I'm here. So laugh, Madam Vice President, laugh. And let the hounds of history continue to try to catch up with you and the rest of us. Thank you. Thank you so much. So hopefully that inspires you a little bit, maybe and put laughter into context as we move through the next couple of months. Because we really have to laugh. And we're up to the challenge, whatever it is. I was speaking with my mom yesterday. She told me that her sister and her brother, well, her sister, is actually selling things and preparing to leave the country if she has to. And her brother is also preparing to leave the country if he has to. I'm not going any damn way. Many of us have been through challenging experiences in this country's history, and they dealt with it. So whatever happens, I'm here, like Dr. King, to deal with it. I ain't going no damn where. Hopefully y'all will be here with me.
Sharing those with us this morning. Also, I want to make sure that, a lot of times we get, Mike put one of our bulletins up, and, you glance at it, see some stuff. I hope that you read the quotes that Edith spends a lot of time coming up with quotes to put into this bulletin. And the quotes that she has put in this week in particular, in terms of what's going on, I love. And the one that George Orwell, a people, and this goes to what you were saying, Anthony, is regardless of what happens, we're staying and we're fighting. A People that elect corrupt politicians, imposters, thieves, and traitors are not victims, but accomplices. So, it's wonderful to have all of you here this morning. I noticed that next week, Joel Notman, I'm not familiar with Joel, but he is speaking, and he's speaking on neurodiversity. In keeping with what you were talking about, making fun of Kamala's laugh, there were comments made about Tim Walt's son, who is a neurodivergent, and making fun of him being so excited and happy and overwhelmed with joy at the convention recently. So I'm very interested in hearing what Joel Notman next week is going to talk about in terms of neurodiversity. And let us keep in mind that all of us come with different strengths and weaknesses, and that we are all equal and deserve respect.
Yeah.
So, the final quote that I'm going to have, and then we're going to have our final song, and our final song is going to be number 70, I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free. The final quote this morning is from Kurt Vonnegut. Laughter and tears are both responses to frustration and exhaustion. I myself prefer to laugh, since there is less cleaning up to do afterwards. Please stand if you're willing and able to join in on page number 70. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. And then I hope that you go out and have a fabulous week and come back and join us again next week. So, Bill.
Yes. We're going to sing the, well, it says verse 5, repeat as if. We're not going to sing that. We're going to sing 4 verses. So the last verse will be, I wish I could be like a bird. Here we go.
Like a bird in the sky. done.